Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie, and I would like to welcome you on this Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock to CraftSpot. So, hopefully, you saw my post that said CraftSpot was on the move. I'm not available later this week, and I didn't want to miss it. So I thought, well, today is the day. We will do it today. So hopefully you saw that. It was in my weekly email, and you would have received my weekly email on Sunday if you were on my mailing list. If you did not receive that email, you want to go over to greatstampingwithconnie.com and you want to subscribe to my mailing list because that's where you find out the CraftSpot is on the move. That is also where you get to find out everything that's going on for the whole week, not just CraftSpot, not just when it's moved, but anything else that's going on this week, as well as starting very soon you will receive a tutorial, a video and a tutorial once a week, every week for 12 weeks. The 12 weeks of Christmas is kicking off a little bit later this month. So it is only for our email subscribers. And I say our because once again, my good friends Terry from Rustic Barn Cards and Sarah from Handmade After Dark have teamed up to bring you 12 fantastic projects. So we hope you like them. They will be coming to your inbox once each week. And the only way to get access to these tutorials is to be on our mailing list. That's all you have to do. We want to thank everyone for being on our mailing list, and this is how we are doing it. So, if you are here joining me today, let me know that you are here. Leave me a comment, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. I love when you comment on my posts on my well during my lives or after my lives if you're watching the replay, whatever it is. Leave me a comment. Feel free to share the video as well because that is always fantastic. A good way to share this with your friends. And then if they like what they see, they can join my mailing list as well. And we will just spread the stamping joy everywhere. Lots and lots of stamping joy coming your way, I promise. Today, we might have a little bit of messy joy. So, bound to be an adventure because CraftSpot always is. But anyway, we will see how it goes. I did actually make one sample from the very beginning to the very end, and that's partly because we're doing wet stuff today. We're using some water, and so I wanted to get a sample done with some dry pieces. So, okay, let me just pull a few things over here so that they are close at hand. The water painters, if you have not used our water painters, they are back in stock. So you want to check those out. We are going to play with them today. Let's head down to the crafting area. You will see I have a few things here. I guess I don't necessarily need them here right now. Oh, yes. Did I mention we're playing with water today? Might get a little bit messy. And, if you don't protect your area, you might share some of that uh, along the way with your crafting area. So you do want to have a little bit of a clear spot so that you don't get anything where you don't want it. Okay. So here is the first card that I made. And I am using the stamp set Prairie Grass, which is an awesome stamp set, but one that you may perhaps have overlooked. It's not part of a bundle, so it's easy to sort of miss the stamp sets that are just standalone stamp sets like this one. But look at these beautiful grasses. Just you can color these with different colors. If you stamp it very, very light, you can go over it with your Stampin' Blend markers or your Stampin' Write markers. You can use daubers to create different colors on your stamps. You can do it in black to get just a silhouette kind of look, as I have done on this card. So many options for these images. And then we have some beautiful, heartfelt sentiments on here. And I'm not actually using these sentiments today. I don't have a need for any of these right now, which is, something I'm very grateful for. But so very sorry you're not alone. Oh gosh. So the font on hit. You're not alone. I'm here for you, sending the healing power of love. My shoulder is yours. Sometimes life is just hard. Okay, so one of the things that you do want to know about all of these, though, is that they are smaller on the front than they are inside. So the sentiments that looked very small here, my shoulder is yours. Where is that guy? This might not be easy to tell, but okay. So let me grab this image here. So this image is this image. So you can see that it is a little bit bigger than the picture. And the first time, because I never read the fine print, it does tell you here that the images are smaller. But the first time I was going to use this one, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's quite large. It's bigger than the piece of paper I've cut. So, we quickly moved to plan B on that one. But anyway, just so you know, the images are shown a little bit smaller on the front of the stamp case, as they sometimes do when they need more space. Okay, let's get to it. So, as I mentioned, I am going to be using a water painter for this. And because I'm on my gloss mat, I'm just going to go right ahead and do it right on here. Brave, 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 brave. Yes. Okay. So here's what we have. We have Highland Heather ink that I have diluted with quite a bit of water. We have Lemon Lime Twist ink that I have diluted with quite a bit of water. And when I say ink, I mean from your refill bottle. So I put about 5 drops in there, and then I sort of filled up the rest with water just to dilute it. This third one that is smaller is Gorgeous Grape, and it's only slightly diluted. So it's about half and half in there. So it's going to be darker, but the two that I'm going to use for the background, I wanted them quite light because I want to, we want to be able to see what we are stamping. And when you have the reinkers, the ink is very concentrated. So, okay, so I'm just going to dip my water painter in here, and then I am just going to come across my paper and paint Highland Heather all over the place here. And there is no right or wrong. You can leave more white space. You can leave less white space. You can start off your paper. This paper is 5.5 by 4.25. So I will be cutting it because that's bigger than I want for my card. I've just made it large so that I can end up with color right out to the edges, or very, very close to the edges. Hey, water painters, if you have not used them, once you are finished with the purple, we don't want to just go right into the green. We'll get some terrible color, I'm sure. So you just squeeze, and there's water in here, and that's what's washing off the ink, okay, as that squeezes out. So you just do that onto paper towel. You can paint with this. You can use this as a paintbrush, and just the pressure of your fingers will allow enough water to flow through there that you get a very watercolor look. But since we're just doing a wash, we're not adding really a whole lot more water, but I have in fact diluted my ink just to make sure it's light enough that you can see what we are stamping when we get to that part. Okay, so there we go. And then again, I am just going to clean the green off of there. And then we will be ready for the next step. Okay, so I'll pick this up. Now this is the first time I did this, I did not enclose it. So I am going to bring in this box that I have prepared so that I don't get ink splatters everywhere. grab my water painter. I'm going to grab my bone folder. Okay. Now, I don't think you can just kind of see this. I don't want to tip that over the edge. I'm going to dip my water painter into, now this is the Gorgeous Grape, so this is the more intense color. I'm going to hover over top here and I'm just going to smack it and add some speckles. Okay, and that's it. Okay. The speckles are very random. It is, I don't know, maybe you're better than me, and maybe if you do gentle taps and not big knocks, you would have a little more control over where your speckles go. I just kind of have at her. So mine are very random, but that's okay. Wasn't after anything in particular, but oh, see, it does get perhaps somewhat messy. So, just be careful. Don't be wearing really good clothes or anything. Hopefully, I didn't get anything on me. It's a navy t-shirt. You won't notice that. Hopefully. Okay. Now, this cardstock is damp, so you do need to let it dry. You could bring in your heat tool, um, or you could grab the piece that you prepared earlier today. Ta-da! Okay, and I am going to get my trimmer. So this one is dry. And I am going to trim this down. I'm just turning it over because it is a little warped. Your paper may, in fact, warp somewhat, depending whether you let it air dry or whether you used your heat tool to dry it, but that's okay. We're going to use liquid glue to hold it down, and then that will flatten it out. I might leave just a little bit. Oh, do. We'll have to make a decision here because if we get too close to the edges, the trimmer doesn't cut well. Although I could shave it this way on my little guillotine cutter. Let's just see. No, I think we want it there anyway. Could have gone right ahead. See what we have here. I might do that. I'm going to do that on the other cutter. Okay, and then this one is going to be 5. So I'm doing 5 by 3 3/4 for this piece. Oh. And I'm just going to get to the 3 3/4 by taking a little bit more off of, could have gone out to the edges a little bit further on this one, but it's okay. Oh, it will all. Okay, so there we go. And then I have a piece of Gorgeous Grape for a layer and a Highland Heather card base, a standard card base. And the Gorgeous Grape is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And you can have it any size. You can cut any of these pieces to whatever size you wish. Okay, so let's come in with our prairie grass. Now, I am finished with this, so I'm just going to set it up there a little bit because you know me, right? My reputation. Okay. Right. Needed a sip of water. Okay, so this is Memento Black ink. And got it all over there. And then I am just going to put this onto here, and I'm going to go kind of into the middle of the green section. Again, you could put it right at the edge of the green, the purple. You could put it right down at the bottom. No right or wrong, whatever you wish. Okay, so there we go. Just going to clean this stamp off. Probably only using it in the black ink today, but if I don't clean it, that's when I'll decide to, oh, let's just do this in Lemon Lolly. And then I'll have black ink in my Lemon Lolly. Okay, as I mentioned, I am going to use liquid adhesive for this so that I can get it right out to the edges, and it will go all the way along. And then this will go be nice and flat. Okay. This, oh, this could have been a smidge smaller. That's okay. It does have as a dark, just a narrow dark purple border. Okay. Turn that over, and I'm going to give this a nice press and just hold it perhaps a moment longer than we usually do because that paper was a little bit curved. Okay, and then that will go onto our card base. September has continued to be busy, and it's busy at Stampin' Up. There is a stamp sale coming, and I will be honest, I haven't looked at all the details. It does not include last chance stamps, from what I understand. And I'm not positive whether it's all other stamps or not, but I will send an email with the details, so watch your mailbox for that. And it is just a 24-hour sale, so one day only, and that day is the 18th. Okay, so Thursday this week, and only Thursday this week. Okay, let's add a sentiment to this, shall we? Okay, so going to use my labeled with love punch and gorgeous grape ink. I'm going to use Thinking of You from the Simply Said stamp set. Thinking of You is such a wonderfully general sentiment. The card could be anything. Inside, you could say, you know, thinking of you on your birthday. Or, you know, you could use it if someone just needs a little pick me up. It could be for anything. So it's always appropriate. So never a wrong time to send a thinking of you card. So perfect for when you're making cards and you're not sure what you need. Just fill your stash with thinking of you cards, and then you're ready for anything. Okay, and then I have a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock, 2-inch circle punch. Punch that out. And we'll come in. I'm just going to mount this onto the circle. Just like that. And then we're going to put this on with some dimensionals. Okay. Oh, I think I'll go up here. I did, that's perhaps just a little high. I might have had my green a little bit larger than the last time, because yes, definitely up a little higher, but that's okay. It's still on there, still fits. And so I use these, let's use these again. This is gorgeous grape. Works. One there. And one there. There we go. Oh, Pick that somewhere. Okay. So there is our first card. Move that out of the way. So, what else can you do with your water painter, you ask? As I mentioned, you can color with it. You can use it as a like a paintbrush, a coloring brush, but you can make other backgrounds. So I have lost one. No, okay. Oh dear, I've seemed to have put something inky on that, but that's okay. We'll just turn it over. So, this time I thought I would use some blues. So I have Azure Afternoon and Night of Navy, and then I have Intense Night of Navy for my speckles. So the first piece that I did, I just dabbed my water painter. So scrap piece of paper-ish. Scrap because look, I've got speckles all over it, but it will work for the purposes of this little demo. So I just kind of, did little left and right and circly things with the two colors, and then I speckled it with the Night of Navy, and that's what we get. Next, I was thinking it might be kind of neat. I should probably grab, oh, okay, this will work. To try it with watercolor paper. Okay, so we do sell Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and it gives uh, a different look to things because it is a different medium. So this is very absorbent. It's going to take on the water and absorb that. So I'm going to come back in. Sorry, this little syringe I just used to get water into my little cups. I don't need it for this part. So we'll just set that. Where will we set that? Let's not put that on the laptop. It is water after all. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here and I am just brushing water. And you could squeeze this from your aqua painter. It just sort of seemed easiest to dip this in the bowl of water that I had here. So I am just brushing water all over my paper. Okay, and that I don't know whether can you see. Okay, so you can see that it's shiny. Can you see some areas that don't look quite as shiny? Like this one doesn't look quite as shiny there. That's because the water has absorbed in. Okay, so that's what it will do. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to dab my Azure Afternoon. And you can see because this is wet, it's um, it's pooling a little bit, but it's also kind of seeping into the paper. Right. Just there's no method to my madness here. This is just, pretty free form kind of stuff. And there could be some white spots left, and that's fine. Or maybe the ink will sort of run into those gaps, but it doesn't really matter what it does. I'm just going to grab another piece of paper towel. If you have ink kind of flowing where you're not sure you want it, you can just come in and soak up some of that, the little piece of paper towel. Okay, okay. Gonna come in next with my dark blue. Well, Night of Navy to be specific. Well, we're gonna trim some of this off, so that may not even matter, but anyway. Okay, so I'm just cleaning out my water painter again. So you see I squeeze it and the water was coming kind of blue. And then when the water comes out clear, you know that your brush is clean. Okay, now I'm just going to down up of this. Okay, now before I do the speckles on this, whoop, look at that. Okay, just wipe that, set that there for a moment. Speckles. So this piece I did, and I speckled it right away. And you can kind of see, hopefully you can see, that my speckles have spread just a little bit. They're not crisp. And so I thought what I would do for this second piece is not speckle it until it's dry. But, you know, sitting and watching paper dry is probably as exciting as sitting and watching paint dry. The proverbial watch the paint dry. So I'm just going to stick this under here. And I have my heat tool, and I think when I do this on Facebook, it kind of mutes it, but plug your ears, everyone. Here goes. Hopefully that's not too loud. Okay, I think we're good. You may have noticed that I put this onto a clipboard that's covered with foil. Two reasons. Number one, if you have a clipboard, you don't have to worry about holding your paper or having it blow away because you're not holding it. You're using a heat tool. It can get hot. So it holds it in place, but it also, because it is the foil, it reflects the heat up as I'm putting the heat on the top, and it helps to keep your paper flat. So that is much flatter than, for example, this piece that just air dried and kind of rumpled with, you know, however it chose to rumple. So that's why I do that. Same theory if you are doing heat embossing with embossing powder. If you put your piece onto foil, it will stay flatter as you heat emboss. Lost my water painter. Okay, now this is dry, and I'm going to come in with my Night of Navy, maybe. There we go. And add my speckles. But this time they haven't spread as much. Some of them did a little bit, but that's also again the nature of the paper. But we have some very fine, sharp speckles, whereas on this other one, they've kind of spread a little bit. My paper, I don't think was as wet this time, which is why my blues didn't spread as much. So every time you do this, you're going to get something just a little bit different, perhaps. There's no right or wrong. Of course not. This is crafting. There's only what opportunities is what we say if you sort of mess something up. At line dancing, they say there's no mistakes, there's only variations. So this truly is variations because certainly none of these are mistakes. They're just variations in how your paper turns out. And depending what sort of look you're after, you may want to, you know, do it a certain way to get a certain look. But I'm just going to set those to the side now. This. And then these are not quite the same size. That doesn't really matter. I am just going to come in here. I think I'm just going to trim a little bit off of each edge of this so that I have um, ink pretty much out to all of my edges. And I don't have any sort of intense ink. Sometimes the ink pools a little bit at your edges, right? So there we go. Okay, I will make this into a card at some point, but I think we're going to leave it for now. Now, this, I probably could stamp on this. I could try it. I could try it on this one. But I was thinking that it was going to be, thinking that is not what oh, okay. Sorry, I've lost track of what I'm doing here because I had an extra piece of cardstock. Asia afternoon, card base. Be fine. It's all good. Hey Barbara, how are you doing? Yes, messy job at some yes, and today it gets to be me. So it is messy, but it's fun. Um getting in and getting messy. So I was going to put that there, and then I was thinking I would stamp on a piece of uh, white and put it on that way. And perhaps I shall. Or I could try stamping right here. I think I thought I had cut a piece of Night of Navy for a layer. Clearly I didn't cut it because it's almost square, which is not at all what we're after. So let's bring this in, and I'm just going to measure this. This is not quite 4.5. Started at 4.5 and then I cut it. So if I do 5, can I do 5? Yes, I can do 5. Just. So 5 by 3 3/4. Don't get rid of this. And then we will have a layer to go on here. And then we can put this on, and then we can put this. I'm not sure about the shape, which is why I went cut as well. This is my go-to. These are textured notes, dies, and they're just, they're all rectangles, but they've got different stitching on the edges, and they are fantastically versatile. So let's do this. Let's stamp our image on both of these, assuming we haven't lost our black ink. Nope, there we go. All good. Okay, you see, it's an adventure, a mess. Sometimes it's a comedy of errors, sometimes it's just a comedy. Okay, so I am going to stamp this right onto there. And we'll see. I think it shows up okay. Not trying to use it for this card, but it does show up okay, so it could be a card at some point. And then this guy is the one that I think I will use. Oh, very black, very, very well inked. Okay, clean that off. Lid for the ink so we don't lean into that. So what do we think? Could do this and then just add a sentiment. Should almost do this, or I should trim it a little bit because perhaps somebody didn't get that quite in the center. Yes. Okay. Well, we'll just trim this a little bit. See what we see. That's somewhat better. I want to take some of this white off. I'm going to end up with a fairly narrow strip because I then, you know, little here, little more here, no, a little more here, a little more there. Okay, how's that? It's pretty centered. That works. Okay. So we could do this with this. This should be embossed then, I think, because there's not going to be a whole lot covering it. I'm going to save that and do that on another card. And I think that I'm going to do this for this one, or maybe, ooh, doo-doo. Here's where you can start to play with where you position things, right? You could do one very close to the top, one very close to the bottom, but I think I'm just going to go kind of even with this. And again, I am going to use my liquid glue just so I get out to the edge of my paper. So it goes down flat. That onto, ooh, paper is shifting. Okay, put that on there. And then we'll pop this guy up. Is that straight? Looks a little crooked. Just fix him up a little bit. Don't. Dimensionals are on the desk somewhere. Here's some. Oh, look, here's some too. Oh, have them all over the place. And I have them all over the place because if you're like me, you know that dimensionals play hide and seek. They like to hide under things. And I'm sure it's them. It's not me. I have not quite figured out the sentiment for this guy yet. We'll do that in a moment. Not sure I've really left myself good spacing for it, but again, we will figure it out, right? There we go. Now, I don't know that I want this, but let's see. I think that this might just take up too much space. I think I need something round. And I don't know. I might have to change sentiments here, but that's okay. So what do we have? This, whoops. Don't mind me crashing around. Maybe 1 3/4 will work. Let's see. I don't know what size this paper is. Ooh, look, I can do it. We go. Just, but that's okay. And then I think that we can use Night of Navy ink. And we should be able to use, well, we certainly could use hello, but we might be able to use just, maybe hello. How about hello? Hello is nice, isn't it? Yes. Could use thanks too. Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, yes. Yeah, we could use thanks. Do we want thanks? Sure, let's do thanks. Again, kind of like, oh, oval. Yes, that would work too, wouldn't it? I don't have it. Well, there might be an oval punch over there. We don't have any current oval punches right now. I probably still have one in the stash. We have some oval dies, but that's far away. But yes, you're right. Oval would work too, wouldn't it? We'll just go with the circle for today. Okay. There we go. Thanks. And we could still do the 2-inch circle. Maybe. It's all a bunch of maybes because I don't know what the spacing will look like. Where did I put my 2-inch punch? Over here. Okay, so punch that. Not, positive we're going to use it. We have this. We could have this. Oh, I think that'll still work, right? Because we still have card. This is still going on card. So there's still room for all of this. Yes. Okay. We can have a frame for it. Okay. See if I can whoop, get this centered on here. There we go. Give it a smack. Now maybe I will put this down on my card base first, just in case in case it does go over the edge. Well, I think it will go over the edge, but then I will be able to see where it's going to end up so that it doesn't go completely outside the card, because then it would get squished in the envelope. Okay, the other thing, I'm going to put this on dimensionals, but this part here, we don't want any dimensionals there because then it will be tilted. Heaven forbid it should not be straight and flat. And so down here, we don't want any. So I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, probably don't need this guy, but we'll do him anyway. He's not cooperating. Get off of there. Okay. Come in here. Now you could also put, we'll put just a little dab of glue here just to hold it down on the other piece. Hope that's in the right place. I'm not sure it really is. I think it should be up here more. Okay, so now I want to make sure I don't really give it a big press there, or I will be pushing the glue bits down in a place that I don't want the glue bits down. Okay, so there we go. We just need, of course, we need a little bit of bling. What do we have in the bling department? Oh, maybe silver bling. Maybe. Oh, dark blue bling. Yes, Knight of Navy. Depends where we're going to put it, I suppose, eh? Maybe silver. Should we go flashy? Maybe let's be flashy. Or we could, oh no, we don't want this. Okay, let's go silver, shall we? Hi ho, silver. Take them off of this strip because it's smaller, and you know, at some point maybe we could use this up. Okay, what do we think? One on there. So now I'm doing silver as opposed to blue, and I'm going to put it, you know, in all different places other than on the blue anyway, but that's okay. We didn't need blue gems. We've got silver gems, and they are working. Okay. Card number 2. All righty. So there is stamped right on the background. There is the background just as a background. So you can do all sorts of things with these, whatever, you know, whatever you wish. And there is the first card. Okay. Oh, my desk is a tad messy here, but I can come back in. I'm sure. I'm sure I'll fit. Yes. Okay. As soon as I can find the right button. There we go. Okay. So there you have it. A little bit of messy fun. As I say, water painters are back in stock. You can order them now. But but don't order them today. Wait till Thursday, and then if there's any stamps that you want, you can get those during the stamp sale. I will send more information about the stamp sale, but it is only 24 hours long, just one day. So you will want to jump on that on Thursday. And then you can add the water painters, and you too can have some messy fun. It's not all messy fun, but there was a little bit of messy bits today. Alrighty, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Feel free to share this video with your friends and let them know that if they join my mailing list at greatstampingwithconnie.com, that they will receive the 12 Weeks of Christmas tutorials and videos starting very soon. Okay, have an awesome rest of the day, and I hope to craft with you again really soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.